Ladies and gentlemen, hey, welcome to Renee Box Young, a platform where we simply discuss, critique, and analyze, and simply talk about sport of boxing, man, in coherent, level-headed fashion. You know how we do it here, definitely, man. Hey, subscribers since day one, recent subscribers, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much, man, for tuning in to the live sessions, the flash lives, the premieres of my videos, such as this, tuning in real time. Playback gang, also those who comment in the comment sections of the videos and all that, man. You guys are showing mad love, kings and queens. I appreciate you all, and let's talk about this. Let's chop it up a little bit, man. Sometimes I just sit back and observe things throughout the months and years or whatever, as a boxing fan concerning the sport of boxing and life in general too. But concerning the sport of boxing, man, I have seen some things that I really haven't talked about it either. I really haven't talked about it. I remember mentioning it sometime long ago when my platform was super smaller than it is now, but I definitely want to talk about this, okay? Something that's been on my mind, something that's been brewing in my mind, what I'm saying? It's about time to talk about this, and I just want to get it out there, what I'm saying? And one of the reasons why is because, I got the attention of Leonard Ellerbe, Floyd Mayweather, Mayweather Promotions. If I'm not mistaken, he's the CEO there or something like that. So, you know what he does. So, I got some things to say, and he answered me. What's cool about this is this, man, and this, sparked this little dialogue that me and Ellerbe had on Twitter. It sparked me to, it kind of sparked it now. It's like the spark that set the flames, because it's something that's been on my mind for a long time. And, he kind of, it's about time to make this video. And it's not just about, it's not just about Tank Davis. As you can see here, the thumbnail, we see this with a lot of fighters. The thumbnail's too freaking small. There's no space to show all the fighters. We've been seeing this go on for a long time, okay? However, I must say this at the beginning. I got to start this out, and you already know how I do it. I got to, applaud these fighters. I applaud all fighters, man, who get in the ring. You know what I'm saying? They risk their lives. We got to understand that first and foremost, man. They risk their lives, and y'all know the story there. I don't have to explain that, you know what I'm saying? But I do for the new listeners and stuff like that, so you understand my viewpoint concerning fighters. I never call them bums. I don't call them, I don't know, man. I just don't do that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Call them Uber drivers, Walmart workers, employees. I laugh, though. Hey. I do laugh when other people say it. It's funny. It's funny. It's entertainment for me. It's funny, I joke around and stuff. But I don't do that, you know what I'm saying? I respect them all, you know what I'm saying? So all these guys you see here on the thumbnail, I respect them all. And I'm not necessarily saying, just a disclaimer, I guess you can say, so you won't start tripping on what I'm doing here with the thumbnail. I'm not necessarily saying that, these guys are bigger stars than Devin Haney. That's why there's no star over him. Whatever. I'm not implying that. But I'm trying to make a point here. And I think a lot of you know what I'm talking about here just by looking at the thumbnail, okay? Now, some of these fighters, at least in the thumbnail, okay, some of these fighters are doing bigger than, greater than other fighters concerning who they're fighting and concerning the situations they're in. I got to make that clear too, okay? So, definitely respect to Ellerbe, very successful businessman with Mayweather, and their promotional company, whatever they're doing. Okay, so, I got to get that out there, okay? However, this is one of the problems in the sport of boxing. And man, my standpoint, and I've been saying it so many times, and sometimes I do my rants, because when I speak about certain topics that I don't like in the sport of boxing, I'm going to rant about it. But I don't do it, and I don't overkill it. I got to make that clear too, okay? I don't overkill it. I'm real optimistic concerning the sport of boxing, and most of my videos are about that. And most of the content I push is, my optimism concerning the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not... Just because these stupid Triller events and these things that are going on in the sport of boxing, these circuses that they're trying to push, you know what I'm saying? There's another heavyweight, legend that's coming out. I forgot his name, but I'm sure you know his name. Doing some gig against a former NBA guy. Come on now. Paul Ignagi's going to fight in that undercard or something like that in that event, against some TikTok dude. It's nonsense, okay? Now, when it comes to that kind of that kind of topic, you know what I'm saying, those topics, I'm going to rant about it and stuff like that. But generally, my content, man, I got to make that clear for the new listeners, too. I got to make that clear, I mainly talk about, tangible things that are going on in the sport of boxing that are, worthy of talking about. But I try to talk about everything, you know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely optimistic on what I'm saying in the sport of boxing. However, I do got to talk about this, okay? Because this is something that we've been seeing, and it's kind of prevalent in the sport of boxing. I'm not so sure if it's dominant, but it looks kind of prevalent in the sport of boxing, okay? Now, like I said, man, shouts out to Ellerbe, man. And what's cool about it is that Ellerbe, man, you know, the status that he has and status quo, or whatever you want to call it, you know, people of that stature, gotta make that clear too. People of that stature tend to, most people at least, a lot of people, or I guess I can say, in any realm or in any aspect, you know, in society, professional field, whatever, you know, people of that stature, they kind of ignore people of lower stature, I guess we would say. You know, but shouts out to Ellerbe. He's not one of those guys. That's awesome. So, you know what I'm saying? He actually responds. I don't think it's one of a PR. You know, I don't think it's a PR for Ellerbe who's responding on Twitter, okay? I think it's really him, okay? Because sometimes you got these guys out there and they don't, you know, they don't even handle their own Twitter feeds and whatever they call it, their Twitter profiles and, you know, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. You know, some of them or several, I don't know, but, you know, people of high stature, a lot of times they have, you know, like, for example, Pacquiao, I don't think he handles his own, you know, social media. If he does, awesome, but I doubt it, you know. But, you know, you get my point. Ellerbe, man, it seems like he, you know, legitly, genuinely responds on Twitter to people, and that's great. Whether you agree or not with him, and whether he calls you dumb and you don't know what you're talking about and you're so foolish or whatever, he's responding, and, you know, he's, you know. So that's what I want to chop up, okay, to a certain degree, what he responded to me. And something that's just going on in the sport of boxing, okay? So let's just get right to it, man. You know, links in the description so you can check it out, okay? So let's check this out. Here we go. I'm going to just zoom it in so you can see it very clearly what's going on here. Okay, so this is me responding, okay? This is me responding to, you know, one of Ellerbe's posts, and I'm responding to some guy there on Twitter. You can check it out. Like I said, link in the description. You can click on it and see who I'm responding to. It's just another guy, you know, whatever person on Twitter who is, you know, responding concerning Tank Davis, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. But I want to focus on what I said here and what Ellerbe's responding to me. And then I responded back to him, and we kind of went back and forth just a little bit, okay? Because obviously I don't think, I mean, you know, nobody really has the time to go back and forth much on social media anyway. I don't, at least. And I'm sure Ellerbe has much less time. So once again, man, shouts out to Ellerbe for answering and whatever. He does it to a lot of people. So, okay. So here, this is me. Let's just focus on this. You know, I put a good point in Dr. House. I guess is that guy in the GIF. Okay, so we got here. I responded to this guy. You know, so it says here, good point, man. I am not so sure Mayweather team and Tank superiors want to have Tank fight the creme of the creme, so to speak, soon. Okay, check this out, guys. They are more focused on star status, quote unquote. It seems, as opposed to top competition. So it seems like they're more focused on making Tank a star, in other words, because Ellerbe's been saying it for years, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't followed that, then, you know, do your research, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you guys all have, because, you know, a lot of you guys, man, most of you guys who the community, y'all know more than me. I said it so many times, you know what I'm saying? And platforms out there, they know a lot more than I do. You know, the little that I know that Ellerbe has been pushing that star status stuff on Tank Davis. Okay? It seems, as opposed to top competition. Bouts via strategic moves. I love Tank, though. Amazing fighter. I mean, I got nothing to take away from that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, what I'm saying there is that, you know, is that it seems like, you know, me responding to that guy on Twitter, you know, on Ellerbe's, you know, post or whatever, it seems like they're trying to do that with Tank. And, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sitting here picking on Tank. No, I'm not saying that Tank's the culprit. You know, it's more like his superiors. And that's the point here. Some more than others, some less than others, you know, depending who it is, okay? But I personally think that they're just trying to do that with Tank Davis. I think they're doing that with Ryan Garcia also. Connor Ben also, that's why I put them. Those are just a little bit of names to mention. I mean, there are more names out there, and you already know who they are, okay? Their promoters and their higher-ups, man, they're just trying to maneuver them in such a way so that they can keep their undefeated records, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? And to hype them up to a degree. I mean, what just happened? Lomachenko's another. Like I said, there are a lot of names out there, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of names. For crying out loud, Bob Arum, what did he say, Lomachenko? He's like, you know, a Muhammad Ali or something like that? Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. He said that about another fighter out there. I don't know, and I don't really care, okay? But what I'm trying to say here, my point is, these promoters out here and their higher ups of these fighters, and I don't doubt, like, most of these fighters maybe, I know Tank. I assume Tank. I don't freaking know. I don't hang out with this guy. I don't know him really. You know, I don't know Tank. I just know what I see in the ring and in interviews, okay? But what I'm trying to say here is I think that Tank legitly, he would fight these guys if he had the chance. But I think his higher ups are maneuvering him. You see what I'm saying? And same thing happens over and over again with a lot of these guys out here. So they're trying to like hype them up and say that they're just, you know, amazing and the best of the best of the best. But they haven't fought the creme of the creme. And that's why I put there in that tweet, whatever you want to call it. So let me just repeat it one more time, man, because I got to make this very clear, ladies and gentlemen, because I got some things to show you. So good point, man. I'm not so sure Mayweather team and Tank superiors want to have Tank fight the creme of the creme. You see there? And then he answers me. Leonard Ellerbe, shouts out to him, official profile, whatever you want to call it. Link in the description. Y'all know this is all legit. Okay, so it says here, again, he says, again, you don't know. Okay, well, let me just, yeah, okay, so he says here, again, you don't know if Tank, T.O., Devin, check this out, or Ryan's next fight just might be their toughest fight yet. What if one of them loses, gets clipped, stop disrespecting all the other fighters in around their classes? You're the top dog if you consistently do it over a period of time. I feel what he's saying. I definitely feel what Leonard Ellerbe is saying. But, you know, Ellerbe is like trying to say, I mean, you know, what I see is this. It's time. Okay, this is what I see. It's time. And this is another counter argument that a lot of people push out there, okay? Yeah, you know, these guys are still young and they got a lot of years ahead of them. They'll fight each other eventually. It's like, okay, I definitely get that too, you know, and I got nothing to, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got to reiterate this, and I went live talking about it in the build up to the Barrios and Tank Davis fight. That's awesome, you know, I mean, that Tank Davis fight with Barrios, awesome, great, legitimate opponent in Barrios. Leo Santa Cruz, legitimate opponent also. But I would rather see, Tank fight some of these names that Leonard Ellerbe mentioned. T.O., Devin, Ryan, not so necessarily. Maybe it's just because Ryan, I don't consider him as a Fort King. Whoever the heck brought that, I've said that before. Whoever the heck brought that whole Fort King thing out, you know, what is it, 135 division? You know, Ryan's not one of those guys. Okay, let's just be realistic. I don't care if he puts this you know, hat on. A lot of people say that it's a Burger King hat. Whatever hat, you know, crown he wants to put on himself, that's fine. He can self-proclaim whatever he wants. A lot of people do that, ladies and gentlemen. Did you know that a lot of people self-proclaim something they're not, and they prop themselves up more than they are because of their insecurities? I don't want to get too deep in that, but y'all know what I'm talking about, okay? And I personally think that's what, I don't know, man. Ryan Garcia can do what the heck he wants. That's fine. But I respect him because, you know what I'm saying, in this aspect, that he's a fighter. He gets in there and he fights. Great performance against Campbell. I take nothing away from that. I do take away, though, the superficiality of all this stuff. I see through it, man. I see deeper than that. I see deeper than all this stuff, man. I don't get carried away with the facades, man. You know what I'm saying? The cosmetic work. I can care less about that. I want to see great fights, man. That's how raw I am, and that's how real it is with me, as far as that's just my perspective, you know, on the sport of boxing, okay? So, you know, it seems like Leonard Ellerbe is saying, you don't know. I mean, that's the problem there. How long do we have to wait for this? That's the issue. That's the issue. So Leonard Ellerbe, you know, he's defending his point, obviously. He said, you don't know if Tank, T.O., Dev, or Ryan's next fight. Now, the names that are out there right now, the names that are out there for Tank right now, they don't look too, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? For his next opponent. I would expect this, ladies and gentlemen. And this is just me as a fan. And I know these top guys, Ellerbe and all these guys are like, you know, what do you know about fighting? What do you know? I mean, I don't care. I'm just a fan. I'm just going to speak my mind. You know what I'm saying? And I made a video about it some time ago, and I personally thought in that video I made in Tank Davis when it was rumored he was going to move up to 140, I thought he was going to go for undisputed. I get it, man. The Barrios fight, great stuff, great opponent. You know what I'm saying? Pretty decent opponent that in Barrios. You know what I'm saying? But I thought his next opponent would be Taylor. I thought he would be pushing for that kind of greatness. Why greatness? Because whether people like it or not, that's freaking greatness, what Taylor is doing right now. Or what Taylor has done thus far in the division, man. Whether you think Prograis won when he fought him or lost, whatever. I personally think Taylor legitimately beat. And I don't care how big his eye got. I mean, who cares about that? I personally think that Taylor legitimately beat Prograis. Okay? And then he turns around and goes for Ramirez and gets undisputed. You got to respect that, man. You know what I'm saying? That's greatness, ladies and gentlemen. That's greatness. And I personally thought that Tank was going to go for that greatness at 140. But the names that are out there right now, the possible names that Tank Davis is going to fight next at 140 after Barrios, I don't know, man. It's just really a big question mark. Freaking Rolly, are you kidding me? I know a lot of people want to see Rolly get pounded, but that's not a competition, ladies and gentlemen. All due respect to Rolly, I know he's weird, blah, 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 whatever you want to call him. Put a label, whatever label you want to put on Rolly, but I'm talking about in the ring stuff, okay? That's not a tough competition. That's not even close, man. Tank Davis will knock that guy out the ballpark, man. And then there's another name that was been rumored out there, Pitbull Cruz. Are you kidding me? Really? Really? And then there's another name out there that's being floating around, man. I don't even know the dude's name. I really don't care right now about that. You see what I'm trying to say here? You see what I'm trying to say here? It seems like, at least with Tank, okay? Ryan, we don't even have to start with him, okay? Y'all know the story there, okay? But I'm talking about this tweet here I'm talking about, you see? So you know, according to Ellerbe, he says, you don't know if the next fight for Devin, Tio, or Tank, you know, will be their toughest fight. Hopefully that's the case. Hopefully Leonard Ellerbe, you know, mixes it up and negotiates there and talks to Mayweather, however the heck they do that stuff. Maybe they say, you know what, let's get Josh Taylor in with Tank. Obviously, I understand. Tank, Josh Taylor is gonna go fight one of those mandatory guys, whatever dude's name is. I forgot. All due respect, Catterall or something like that, to defend one of those multitudes of belts that he has. You know, respect though with them belts, man, definitely. You know, but hopefully, okay. If this is the case that Tank is, if he's gonna fight one of these guys that I could care less about him fighting, you know, whatever. That's just me. Hopefully he goes for Taylor and undisputed. You know. Or hopefully it's going to be one of these guys, for crying out loud. Tio, Devin, because obviously you guys know it's been said a gazillion of times. These guys have expressed moving up to 140. Make it happen. But most likely it's not going to be them, ladies and gentlemen. That's my point. That's my point in all this. Okay, and then I responded here also. I said, hey, I get your point. Okay, look at this. Look at this. Hey, I get your point. I add an additional response to him responding to me there. And this tweet. And then I said here, hey, I get your point, but all those names you just mentioned are precisely names I want to see Tank fight, except Ryan. Because I personally don't think Ryan has even proven anything. Okay, man, I gotta make that clear. I don't think Ryan has even proven, you know, anything remotely close to even getting near Tank. Okay? That's just me. You can defend Ryan all you want. That's fine. You know, all those people who ride for Ryan, because I don't care why you ride for him, but I mean, you know, that's fine if you think that. I don't think that, though. You know what I'm saying? And why do you think, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about that whole thing, him pulling out of the Fortuna fight. That was awesome. I was excited about that, ladies and gentlemen. I was like, this is good, man. Ryan's doing good here. Or his superiors, at least. His superiors are doing good. WBC ordered the Fortuna Ryan Garcia fight. Y'all know what happened there. I was actually, to a certain degree, excited about it. But I said, at the same time, when that was announced, I said, I take this with a grain of salt, though. And sure enough, he pulls out for whatever the reason. Whatever he's, you know, you already know the story there. He claimed what he claimed, okay? Now months later, okay, now WBC is ordering again, you know, Jojo Diaz and Ryan Garcia. And that's a controversy in itself. However, I think that's a good fight, though. I got to make that clear, man. I think this is a good fight for Ryan Garcia. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Jojo Diaz versus Ryan, I think that's a really good fight, ladies and gentlemen. We don't even know if that's going to be official. Even if they announce it, we don't even know if that fight's going to go down. Now, the controversy is in this, man. Why hasn't he fought Haney yet, then? You know, I'm not even going to get to the whole WBC, because the WBC as it is, ladies and gentlemen, and a lot of these sanctioned bodies out there, maybe not all of them, but some sanctioned bodies are a lot more sketchy and controversial and shady than others. WBC is probably the worst. That's just my humble opinion. One of the worst, at least. You know. And I'm not even going to get into the whole freaking confusion, because I don't even care. Not even got time. Other platforms break that down amazingly. You check that out. But I don't know why this whole mandatory schmandatory stuff. To me, it's mandatory schmandatory. When they say mandatory, for me, it's like schmand. I don't care. Okay? apparently, or from what I understand, Ryan Garcia earned his right, I guess, according to the WBC rankings, to fight Haney already. They should have fought already. What's this stuff going on with Haney not being able to fight Ryan Garcia? What's this stuff going on with Haney not being able to fight Teofimo? What's this stuff going on with Haney not being able to fight Tank Davis? Oh my gosh, I think he's aggressively been, seems like Haney's the only one who has aggressively been seeking these fights. You know, however you want to look at it, I think that Haney is quite legit in his intentions and expressing his genuine intention in fighting these guys. But I go back to what I'm saying here, ladies and gentlemen. But the higher ups of the guys that Haney wants to fight are maneuvering them to keep them away from Haney. He's even been aggressively seeking Lomachenko, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think it sucks, man. You see? So let's get back to this, okay? So that's why I said except Ryan, because, you know. And I just gave you a list of the creme of the creme you just questioned, okay? So that's me, you know. So I'm going to repeat it. Hey, I get your point, but all those names you just mentioned are precisely names I want to see Tank fight, except Ryan. We know, because I don't even consider Ryan fourth kings or whatever the heck. And I just gave you the list of the creme of the creme you just questioned. Just my opinion as an avid fan of the wonderful sport, and I stand on it, sir. And this is another one, you know, because this is him. Okay, I should have went here first before that, what I just showed you on the bottom there, but whatever. So he says, who's the creme of the creme? Leonard Ellerbe is saying, who's the creme of the creme concerning this? I said here, you know, that the Tank fight, Tank fighting the creme of the creme soon. You know, and then he says, who's the creme of the creme? So I said here, I'm glad you asked, sir. Josh Taylor, 140, Teofimo, Haney, 135, Valdez, Herring, Shakur, 130. Yeah, I know I went quite low at 130, but hey, Tank fought there, right? So I don't think he's going to go down there, but you know, that was just me. That's fine. But even though you got Josh Taylor, Teofimo, Haney, Valdez, you see what I'm saying? But I know Valdez quite down there too, but whatever. You understand what I'm trying to say here. Just my opinion, and I stand on it, sir. You know, and this is me answering that. You know, I just gave you the list, and he didn't respond to those. Okay? He didn't respond to those. Maybe because of his time. Maybe because he thinks, who's Renee Boxing? Who the heck are you? Yeah, just leave me alone already. You know, maybe he thought that. But, you know, I had to get my point across there. And why do I have Conor Benn here now? Because, you know, as of late, man, I definitely appreciate what Conor Benn's doing. I got my eye on him. I just made a video talking about, I think he has, you know, championship potential. If he works on some things, you know, I think he definitely has in the near future championship potential. However, out of Conor Benn's same mouth, he talks about he wants to be a star. You know. And I think all this star stuff, man, this is the point I want to make here concerning all these things here. And everything I've been saying about Ellerbe concerning Tank, I mean, you can say it with Ryan Garcia also. I personally think that, you know, and I've been saying this for a minute, you know what I'm saying, that they're trying to maneuver these guys, man, just to keep, so that they can keep that undefeated record and just keep, you know, I'm not necessarily saying that Tank is so hyped up, no, because the proof is in the pudding in Tank. But with Ryan Garcia, the hype is a lot more. You know, Conor Benn, it looks like it's getting there too. And with a lot of other fighters out there, man, they do a lot of more hype than what they're actually doing. And that, you know, as opposed to who they're actually fighting. You see what I'm saying? Conor Benn, and out of his own mouth, he's talking about he wants to be a star. If I'm not mistaken, his handler is Eddie Hearn or whoever the heck it is. And I'm not so sure, man. Even though I think Conor Benn has that potential to reach championship status, I'm not so sure, because out of his same mouth, he wants to be a quote-unquote star. And going for Adrian Broner and freaking Khan, that's not stars. That's not like proving your potential. You know what I'm saying? It may build your name up to be a quote-unquote star, but ladies and gentlemen, star status doesn't equate to fighting the top out there. That's the point I want to make here. Okay? Being a quote-unquote star doesn't equate to fighting the best out there. You see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? Same with Usyk, man. I mean, I definitely respect what he has done in the cruiserweight division. That's amazing. I don't even have to mention the accolades he's accomplished in the cruiserweight division. You know what I'm saying? Undisputed, wow. But now he's in the heavyweights. And heavyweight division is a different thing, ladies and gentlemen. What his performances against Witherspoon and Chisora, to me, it hasn't convinced me. It's too much. Really hasn't convinced me at all. And they're trying to hype him up and say he's the next this and that, and putting all these clips of him dancing around in the gym. That you got to prove that kind of stuff, man. I know they're trying to make maybe Usyk a star, but you see, to the extent that these promoters, man, and these higher ups get to try to promote their fighters and convert them to being stars. Now, I got to repeat, man, Tank Davis, the proof is in the pudding with this guy. And I just explained clearly how Barrios, he was legitimate opponent, in my humble opinion. Leo Santa Cruz, quite legitimate. But I would rather have Tank Davis as a fan, that's just me. I would rather have seen him fight Haney, Teofimo, at least them two, one of them two, throughout all these years. And back when he was in a lower division, Valdez or, the 130 guys, when he was down there. Herring, but I know there's controversy in that, but I would rather see him fight at least one of those guys. Lomachenko since years ago. I mean, let's be real there, ladies and gentlemen. Lomachenko since years, plural, ago. But, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what we're seeing, but, I wish the best for these guys, and I understand that point, too. I got to repeat the counter argument that I mentioned a moment ago, okay? That they're young, I get it, but how many fights should they have to fight to face each other? That's my question. And I know the promoter's intentions is to milk it. The quote-unquote Mayweather blueprint, Mayweather-Pacquiao blueprint. They want to milk it. How much freaking milking do you have to do here? The community is getting tired of that, ladies and gentlemen. And the community should be speaking out more and more about this. And pressure these guys. Not necessarily just the fighters, but pressure the higher-ups. Okay? Pressure the higher-ups. You see what I'm saying? These promoters got to mix it up, man. Put your stupid, your freaking pride aside. Put your ego aside. And mix it up, promoters. Cross the streets, or whatever you want to call it. Make business. Make negotiations happen. What happened with Bud Crawford and Porter? Finally. That's just one minimal example. Wilder and Fury. Going on for a trilogy. I guess these two, promotional companies, they mixed it up, negotiated, and get the fight done. Fights can be done, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever freaking side of the street, block you're on, whatever you want to call that. They can be made. It's just that these freaking promoters, they do a little bit of too much milking. I understand, milk it up to a certain degree, but not too much. That milk is going to get stagnant and sour and smell like rotten eggs. But man, hey, it is what it is. We'll see what happens, man, next with these champs, with these young, warriors, and all these other, and it's not just the guys on the thumbnail, okay? It's not just the guys on the thumbnail. And I think Haney, he deserved a fight with all these names for a long time, but I don't know why they're not, just not handing him over, these fights to him. But, it is what it is, man. So we'll see what happens next, man. Go ahead and comment in the comment section. What do you think? What's going on here, in the sport of boxing concerning this? And I repeat one more time to conclude, star status is not necessarily, it doesn't equate to fighting the best out there, the top, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Renee Box Young, stay safe, and if there are new listeners out there, go ahead and subscribe. Costs you nothing, man. If you love the sport of boxing, this is a place for you. Renee Box Young is simply a platform where we simply discuss, critique, analyze, simply talk about sport of boxing in a coherent, level-headed fashion. Peace out, stay safe, man.